How are you? I'm doing well, thank you. And yourself? Oh, I'm so good, Mama Ella. Good. I'm so good. Right. I kind of feel kind of starstruck right now because I've been watching your videos for like a month now. So I'm like, no, nervous. I'm your sister. I'm your sister. Don't worry about it. It ain't no starstruck, you know. I'm your sister. Don't, you know, we gonna get into the get down. You get what I'm saying? I don't never. I already know how it all works and everything. You ain't even gotta explain yourself. Yes. You need to be. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. What I was gonna say. What's the relationship? What's going on with you and your father? Is everything well? Yeah. It's real rough. Over the years of growing up, I tried to reach out to him and develop a relationship, but it was always empty promises. He wouldn't call. He has 2 other kids, and then there's 3 of us with my mom, and he just has no regard for us, and it drives me crazy because it's like, how can you give birth to something that's a part of you, that has your DNA, that has your blood, and you don't call to see if I'm living, what kind of success I'm going through, what kind of struggle I'm going through, nothing. And it's like, I've been trying to forgive him and move on through the years. You know, I was in Christianity and stuff like that. But I still have that, I know I still have something like that's not releasing with him. Because that's the first thing that came up as I was connecting with your spirit guides. As like you said, you already know how I do things. So even prior to calling you, I always tap in a little bit, you know, into it. And the first thing that came up was her father. And so I said, okay, well, what about her father? And your spirit guides said, well, she will tell you. And then I said, okay, well, you know, what part of her area, what part of her life, what is being affected here? And they said her sacral chakra. Visualizing the color orange, you know, visualizing the color orange. During meditation will help you, you know, deal with the situation that you are going through with your father. You know, or and then too, the sacral chakra also deals with intimacy, relationships, creativity, stress levels, and things of that nature. So I understand that you have already or been trying to release that, but just keep going, basically, you see. Keep going. The energy is going to release. Right. I wasn't sure when you just started. No. If it was working or... Let me tell you something. Anything that you put out into the universe is working. See, the universe doesn't really respond to, you know how people say, most of the times, like affirmations and stuff. Yeah, the universe responds to affirmations with action that follows the affirmation. You see, and so when you start to say when you start to say these release affirmations and things like that, letting this person go, letting that person go, but is the actions following that same thing that you are speaking into the universe? That's how you got to do it. It's a duality thing, you see. And so with you, one of the main things that has been blocking you internally is the relationship that you have with your father. And as a result, they're saying, listen, tell her to just work on the sacral chakra and tell her to work with the color orange. You can also get you some citrine, you see. You can also get you some citrine and start working on that particular particular plex. Also, can you hear me? Hello? Yes, can you hear me? Yes, hello? Hello? Yes, Okay. Okay, yeah, I hear you good. Okay, because then that also deals with trusting. That also deals with trusting. So besides the fact that you have this
relationship, or you have this disharmony going on with your father, it's also building up this sense of mistrust. And what we want you to do moving forward is begin to trust. Not trust other people, but start to trust yourself. That's the issue. The number 11 is coming up with you, as well as the number 11 is coming up with you. So that's definitely dealing with transitioning, and not transitioning in a bad way, but transitioning into higher dimensions and higher spirituality, higher thoughts. One thing for sure, I don't know who you have around you or is surrounding you or whatnot, but you gotta stop entertaining things that doesn't feed your soul. You see, entertaining things that doesn't feed your soul, meaning if somebody else is going through issues, or even stuff that you watch, you know, some of us be watching these reality shows or whatever, I don't know what it is, but if it's not resonating with your soul at this particular point now, let it go. Okay, let it go, because I feel like at times, but your spirit guides are saying this is the reason why at times you may have like these different mood swings, and it feels like different personalities, but it's just different mood swings, and it's different energies and entities that is now stuck onto your soul. And now when you are not at your highest good, you just put on one of those hats. You get what I'm saying? You just put on one, and that causes the mood swings. Or that causes the, you know, one day you happy, one day you not happy, one day you know what I mean? One day you want to be by yourself, one day you want to be a hero. And so, but, you know, in this particular time, most of us are going through these different chapters and these different experiences only to find ourselves again. And so with you, and so with you, I definitely feel as if, I mean, I don't know if you are a teacher or if you teach, or if you are if you guide a lot, you know. Are you the oldest one out of your siblings or whatnot? Yeah, that's what it is. And so, you know, you have like this leader power. You know, you have like this leader energy with you, more so like a life path as number 1. When's your birthday?
My birthday is May 21st.
Oh, May 20th.
My life path number is actually 6.
Oh, yeah, 6. Oh, yeah. 6.
Oh, and you're going to love this. My moon is in Pisces.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, okay. So that's why you have this, like, that intuition, that leader, that guider, that nurturer. However, the only reason why I asked you what was your birthday in a sense, but hold on, 21, that's the number 8. Yeah, that's money. Definitely that. But in any event, the reason why I just asked you if you were the number 1 is because you do have that leader qualities about you, you know, taking initiative. And then 2, if adding up the 21, which is 2 plus 1 is 3, and then the 5, that's 8. That is the sign. That is the sign of divinity. That is the number of divinity. That is the number of power. That is the number of abundance. That is the number of everlasting. That is the number of, you know, of financial gains, financial wealth. And so with you, as tapping into that Gemini energy, you see, in order for you to become this successful person that you are already, you definitely have to, like I said, stop entertaining what is not feeding your soul and continue or start to entertain and feed what your higher self is telling you to do. Definitely want to sit in the park by yourself, or be in nature a lot by yourself and sit in silence. Okay, and if you are a writer, I'm feeling something about writing with you. If you're a writer, or you are a poet, or you are anything dealing with expression, next year is definitely the time for you. Give me 1 second. You having a baby? You thinking about having children?
No, I was pregnant a few years back.
And you lost it.
I had to get an abortion.
Yep, the baby's here. The baby's here. The baby is strong. Coming through very strong.
Oh, wow.
That's why I'm like, hold up, because it doesn't stop me in my goddamn talk. Shit. Stop me in my motherfucking talk. I'm like, okay.
Like, I'm here.
Yeah, you know. That's why I'm like, what, you having one or whatever? And then, yeah, I do feel the child wanted to come through. The child wanted to come through. However, again, let me explain to you, the way this child is coming or approaching me, it is as if the child wanted to be here. However, don't feel guilty about it, because we all know that what's meant to be shall be. Whatever's not meant to be is not going to be. Everything happens in divine alignment. It wasn't meant for you at that time, for you, good sister, to bring forth a child for whatever reason you chose to do so. However, that soul is a greedy soul, though. You understand? And what I mean by greedy soul is that child would have been born, that child would have been very motivated. You know, the child would have been on some, I don't care about you, I'm getting mines. You understand? Like, the child wanted to come through anyway, regardless to what you was going through. This baby wanted to come through. Okay, but the child is understanding. You know, the understanding. The child is big. Like a solid child.
Yeah, because when I was in the facility, they showed me the child on the sonogram, and I remember thinking, wow, that's a big baby.
That's a big baby.
It was moving and energetic, and for a split second, I was double thinking, like, but I was like, no, I'm in no position to raise a baby. I can barely raise myself. I was depressed. I had no money. So it was like, nah, I can't do this. But I always wondered. I always thought back, like, that was one of my questions. How is this affecting me? You know, is it like a spirit hovering over me or something?
There's no spirit hovering over you. You understand? Because to the extent that you release, you know, you got to do your, and then too, that goes back to that sacral chakra that I was speaking to you about, the color orange. That's the sacral chakra, dealing with the womb, dealing with our yoni. You understand? That's where birth, that's where life come out of. You get what I'm saying? So in any event, now that it comes out that on top of your father's situation, you also have this situation or experience where you aborted a child. So that's right now, within 15 minutes of us being on the phone or whatnot, that's two situations that goes back to your sacral chakra, you see. And so that's where the depression comes in at. You understand? That's where the depression comes in at. That's where in a sense, stress come in at. But for you, my recommendations for you is to just, you know, say release affirmations, not to feel guilty. Start to say that you love yourself. You understand? Because when you start feeling guilty, that's when the fear and the beating up yourself and the ego's gonna eat you up. That ego of ours, oh my God. You get what I'm saying?
You ain't gotta tell me, Mama. You ain't gotta tell me. I've been dealing with that my whole life.
The ego's
just been getting louder and louder and louder from childhood on.
I'm telling you.
Yes, you are absolutely right.
And so that's why the number 11 is coming up with you. Indicating that, listen, she's no longer resonating with this ego, but she is, you know, going into another dimension, or she's going into another mindset, mind frame, another, you know, way of feeling, thinking, and speaking. You know, speaking, the way what you speak also plays a very big part of your reality as well. You get what I'm saying? That's why I always say greetings, beloved, greetings, love. You know, I always speak to my clients with love, because what you speak also resonates in people's souls as well as your own soul. And so be mindful of the things that you say. Do not start saying that you can't, you know, I can't do this, or this, that, or, you know, all of these different things. That's also coming up. But back to the child, I feel like it was a girl. Okay. I definitely feel like it was a girl. She has a lot of hair. She has really lot. Are you brown skin? Cinnamon?
Yeah.
Are you cinnamon?
No, I'm like a dark, I would say like a mocha.
Oh, okay, mocha. Oh, okay, go ahead, chocolate. No. But this child, she would have been cinnamon. She, like a cinnamon complexion.
That's kind of like my grandmother.
Yeah.
My sister came out kind of a cinnamon too.
And so this is how she's cinnamon. She would have had a lot of hair, okay. But she's healing you. She's healing you from the spirit realm. She's healing you. What does that mean? She's healing you. It's like she's praying for you. She's always in connection for you. I don't know if she would have been a water sign or an earth sign. Did you know your due date?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. That's fine. But in any event, her soul and her spirit still lives on. She got like that Kuan Yin entity with her. The Kuan Yin energy, meaning she forgives those that betrayed her, or she forgives those that does her wrong, or she's always in forgiveness and understanding. And so with you, I don't feel bad about what happened, and don't keep yourself locked into that. Don't keep yourself locked in, because you're the only one that's a prisoner into that mental state. Everybody else done moved on. Everybody done moved on.
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend that you set up an altar for the deity Kuan Yin. She is if I'm not mistaken, she's a Japanese, an ancient Japanese deity, and she's like Mother Teresa. I feel you might have done, you might have, done a lot of wrong to people, or a lot of people might have done a lot of wrong to you, and so in order for you to heal from the wrong, especially with your father. Especially with your father, a lot of things that has done to you, you got to ask for forgiveness. Not forgiveness because they deserve forgiveness, but forgiveness because you allow people to do these certain things to you. And so once you start to resonate in this forgiveness mindset, the heart becomes a little bit more clear and lighter. Okay? Give me a second. Okay. Definitely start on with your journal. Okay, was you engaged?
No, I've never been engaged, but I was in a long-term relationship. That was
tragic.
A little crazy.
Tragic, yeah. That's what I'm picking up. And again, long-term relationship, what I call marriage is the union between two souls. Once you done inserted your phallus into my universe, we're married. You get what I'm saying? That's the union between two souls. Anything after 5 or 4 years, you get what I'm saying? That's a form of marriage. That's a bond. Okay.
The word they came with was tragic.
Say that again. Tragic, yeah.
They said it.
Tragic.
Tragic, yeah.
Tragic.
Yeah, that would be about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tragic. Because I'm like, now I'm trying to figure out. Not trying to figure out. They're telling me, okay, well, she's been through this, she's been through that. You've been through different things, and so we need to help you with the root cause of these different things that you've been going through. Okay, she's been through different things. What's the solution? You get what I'm saying? But before they tell me the solution, your spirit guides have to bring about the certain people and situations that caused you the breakdown. The breakdown, and especially Geminis. Geminis having at times from experience have hard time with breakups or even letting people go, only because they know it in their spirit that they gotta let it go, but the physical aspects keeps them locked in. You get what I'm saying? Like, you spiritually, I know I gotta move forward, But on a physical level, the physical just keeps me. And so as a Gemini, try to find that, you know, you just have to find that balance. You have to just say, okay, well, who's in control? Is the physical in control or the spirit in control? Because the spirit is telling me, listen, leave this nigga alone. Or the spirit is telling me, listen, leave this job alone. You don't know what's the next step. You don't know how you're going to get there. But guess what? Faith and your higher intuition is guiding you. And so if you believe in the creator, and if you believe in your ancestors, and if you believe in your highest good, fear shall never reside in you. You see. Okay. And so that's another good, just going back to the sacral chakra. Because they're saying, okay, well, this, they're saying, okay, the father, okay, the baby, and then, okay, well, she was also dealing with, she was also engaged to this guy, you know, and it feels like he was dealing with other women, you know.
Oh, he was married. He was married, and he had extra stuff on the side.
Oh.
Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. And I look back on it so many times, and I think to myself, what was younger Chantel thinking about? Because I knew he was married, but it was that physical attraction. You know what I'm saying? When you see a guy that you was like, yeah, I want that right there. And it was like nothing else mattered. But if I'd have paid attention to the signs of how he treated every woman that he came in contact with, I would have had better sense.
But see, but
also I needed him too.
Yes.
He ended up teaching me how to drive. He took me on job interviews. He helped me balance the check. All the stuff that I was looking for men in my family to help me with or guide me with, the men was kind of absent or off doing their own thing, and the women in my family were so hard. It was like whenever I showed softness, it was kind of like, well, what you talking about? That's just life. Get over it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I never had a chance to really express that softness, that vulnerability to anybody without getting stepped on for it.
And that's why I said you need to start writing. You see what I'm saying? You have a lot of, you know, like when you digging, like when you dig in the soil, when you dig, like, because you want to plant something, think about it like that. Think about it like digging all of the toxins, digging all of the neglect, digging all of the disharmony, digging all of the not being loved. Dig all of that out of your soul, of your temple, so that you can plant the harmony, you can plant the love, you can plant the internal positive vibration, you can plant, or think about it like that, you see. So that, and once you start to plant all of these things, put everything together, you begin to now create this wonderful life that you always once wanted. You see. And so with this person, you meet people by divine appointment. Yeah, you had the bad, but you also brought about someone that showed you certain things that nobody else was to show you. So it's a bittersweet. However, emotionally and spiritually, it still caused a debt because you didn't know how to balance the two. And so it comes up in this reading. You see, it comes up in this reading. And so what we're telling you is just to, you know, like I said, forgive yourself. Just like you said, what was the younger Chantel? You understand? What was the younger Chantel thinking? Forgive the younger Chantel. Forgive her.
Yeah.
Forgive her.
I'm working on right now.
Forgive her.
I gotta tell you about the vision I had.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was meditating, telling myself that I love myself. I've been watching your video, and it dawned on me, okay, yeah, I don't tell myself I love myself. So I started meditating. I was parked at work just waiting for, you know, the things to start. And I said, I'm going to go ahead and do this meditation. And when I said I love myself, something said, say I forgive myself. And when I said I forgive myself, I could see these two figures, right? And it was like I was the bigger figure, and the little figure was like the little Chantel, the little baby Chantel. And I realized, as I was saying, I forgive myself. It's like the little baby Chantel in my arms was crying, saying, like it was a release. You finally forgiven me. And it's like I realized everything I've been through, from being teased as a child to people judging me or people treating me unfairly, I was the one doing it to myself first.
Yes.
In my mind, I would always be like, you're not enough, or somebody's going to look at you weird because you ain't got the right clothes on, or something. You know what I'm saying? I was the first one
casting a black spell on you. Casting a spell on you.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, no, I love me, I forgive me. And then the more that I said that, the more the little figure was crying, releasing. It was so beautiful.
That's part of the release affirmation. That's part of not the release affirmation, but that's part of the release process. And so when you get this reading, I don't even know when that it happened to you. When did this happen? Like when?
Oh, it was maybe about 3 weeks. I know it was after I set my appointment with you.
Exactly.
Because I hadn't started to do any meditation like that, but the more I watched your videos, the more I was like, okay, yeah, I got to do this.
You see? And so when you finally get this reading from me, we confirm that you know that forgiveness has to be into play, because obviously, as you see, the forgiveness has lifted up a strong burden that has been digging or has been buried deep into it could even be your root chakra. The root of, like a tree.
I've been working with that one too.
You get what I'm saying? Like a tree, the root of the root of the trees. Suppose if there's like negativity and sadness and guilt at the root of the tree, you think that tree is going to grow to be beautiful and abundance and have lots of trees and shit and all this kind of nice flowers branching out? No. If you grow a plant and you instill in that plant negativity, harm and stuff like the plant is not going to grow. There's many studies that says that. There's many studies that some of them Japanese studies say that when you speak a negativity into water versus when you speak positivity into water and you freeze it, you see the molecular structure of the ice is different. I'm telling you, look it up. And so when you get this reading with me, your spirit guides is going to point out all of the different things that caused you, to go down this rabbit hole. And so we say, all right, this is the problem. This is what happened. This is what you need to do. Work on that sacral chakra. Start to forgive yourself. Start to say you love yourself. You understand? Start to not entertain. Stop entertaining things that, because you got a long way. You get what I'm saying? You're an adult now. You got a long way. You got a long way on that. You driving from Texas to New York City. You got a long way. And so I'm telling you. And so what I'm saying to you is that because you have a long way, just be patient with yourself. There's no time for you to, in a sense, try to be in a relationship with somebody that is not being supportive, not being loving, don't understand anything about spirituality, and do not satisfy your needs. Because at this time of your life, give me a second. The spirit, your spirit guide is speaking about duality here. Your grandfather, you knew your grandfather?
Well, I had a couple of grandfathers make the transition.
Oh.
Is he dark or light?
Someone that lived in your house, and he's sitting on this chair, and he has white hair, like full white hair, but he don't look old, but he is an older man. You know how them older men, like you can tell, but he got the good skin.
Okay. Is he wearing glasses?
He's not wearing glasses. I want to say he's dark skinned. But the only image, the only image that's coming through is him sitting on this chair and reading newspapers. He's just like into his whatever he's reading here. I want to say he made the transition.
Sure. It could be my grandpa Floyd, but see, I didn't really know my family like that. We never really sat around with like stories of who so and so is and what they did with their lives. It was kind of like, I don't know, like a disconnect where, I mean, I guess I probably could have asked questions as a child, but I didn't really know about, learning my family history and stuff like that. So now it's like, a few elder people in our family might have pictures and stories, but since we're not all connected, nobody's really knowledgeable.
Okay, so then if I was to explain to you.
The only grandfathers that I was around was Grandpa Floyd, and he was I believe he was my grandmother's father. And then
so your great-grandfather.
Say this again?
So your great-grandfather.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, if he's your grandmother father, then he's your great-grandfather.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But again, I don't know if you particularly speaking about him because I'm not real familiar with my family.
Well, okay. Well, he's telling me that he made the transition. He was probably suffering from diabetes or some type of blood disorder, internal blood disorder, some type of health complication or whatnot. That was one of the reasons, that was one of his issues, growing up or whatever, or that he was going through health-wise. And so the only reason why he's coming up is just, again, as a presence, as a male presence. Like, I don't know if you be hearing stuff in your house or whatnot, or you think somebody's there and you don't see nobody. His presence, your great-grandfather, if you say that that's what it is, but I'm picking up more so on a grandfather energy, not great-grandfather. But again, they go interchangeable. You get what I'm saying? They go interchangeable. But in any event, I definitely, and it's from your mom's side, not from your father's side. It's from your mom's side. Okay, and the spirit realm, he's just here. He's just here. He was a cook. He was a good cook. He knows how to cook. And said, hold on, give me a second. Okay. Okay, he's telling me good things come to those that wait. So be patient. Good things.
Mama, I've been trying to be patient, but it's like, man, I done wasted 30 years of my life with damn Jesus. So now I'm ready to go running in the other direction.
But see, you're starting a new chapter in your life. So that 30 years means nothing. That 30 years was 30 years of lessons. You understand? And so now, so now you go into another, whatever 30 years, or you go into another 20 years of just, ascension, spiritual ascension, alignment. You get what I'm saying? Finding out who you are. You had to go through those 30 years of the religion and stuff like that, only for you to find out who you really are. Again, as a 21, that's the number 3. So we speaking about mind, body, and soul. So if the soul is not sitting right, if the soul is occupied with Jesus Christ and stuff like that, then the mind and the body is going to follow. You see, the mind is going to be like, okay, we're just going to go with what the soul is showing us. Because again, as a Gemini, the soul is more so of what is leading the other 2 aspects of you, which is the mental, which is the mind, and then the body. You have any questions? And so it's okay that you get what I'm saying? It's okay, and that's why we're telling you to just be patient with your things. I'm also picking up on the colors blue with you. The color blue with you is coming up. The color gold is also coming up. Sparkles is coming up, like sparkly and things of that nature. Like good energy, good gold energy. You might if you choose, you might get remarried again. You might get married again. Give me a second. Okay. You have any questions?
Oh yeah, I got a whole bunch for you.
Okay.
Let me let me look at my list here. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
Okay, so there's moments in my life where I'll be driving down the street and everything is fine, but all of a sudden my car colliding with another and I'm in a crash and it's like painful. Not a flash. And then, out walking around on the street of Baltimore now. So, you hear about, the guys and whatnot.
I'm sorry, you breaking up. What you said now?
I'm protected and I'm good. But even still, those little flashes of, something might happen or, you might get in a car crash. Like, I'm wondering, why do I constantly have these flashes of, me dying or something?
Number one thing is the fear. Okay, like I said, these different entities. Remember when I spoke to you about the different entities within thyself, within yourself? And that's the reason why you, in a sense, shouldn't be surrounded by different people or entertaining different shows or whatever the situation is. And then this is the reason why I mentioned to you about healing the sacral chakra, because it brings, if your sacral chakra is not balanced, it brings the immune system down, and as a result of bringing them, it brings the immune system down, which causes depression and stuff like that. Or depression causes the immune system to be down when the sacral chakra is not, intact or not balanced. And so when you feel depressed and when your immune system is down, any kind of entity can just jump in you. That's also known as a spirit attack. And it's real. Stuff like this is real. Because we're not the only people living on this planet. We have different energies and different spirits that also roam this planet. And so when you yourself know damn well that you are not suicidal, you have these thinkings or whatnot, and one of the recommendations or one of the answers is because you might be driven by entities, or two, you might be living in this parallel dimension. You get what I'm saying? You're living in this parallel dimension where you might have thought about it and it already happened somewhere else. Because everything that you think about gets put out into, different scenarios and stuff like that. Well, what if I went left? If I went left, this is what would have happened. And that what would have happened actually gets played out in another dimension. It actually gets played out in another dimension. And that's why they say astral projection. Projecting your thoughts into the astral plane. You see. And so when you or even your entity, not your entity, but your spirit that is in another dimension thinks about you killing yourself and stuff like that, and then now here on the physical realm, this is what you're constantly thinking about. You see. And then two, you got to get off certain foods. You get what I'm saying? You have to get off certain foods, because if you believe in karma, if you believe anything in karma, you understand that you are what you eat. You get what I'm saying? And whatever's in that food that you're eating, the karma now sits in the body, in the temple of the person that it's inside. And so if this animal or this flesh that you've been eating or ate died in a very harmonious, in a very disharmonious way and tragic way, and then now you eat parts of that body, beloved, this thing is real. And so you start thinking about these, why am I thinking about, killing myself, or why am I always having these death dreams? That's why I'm trying to tell you, It's for you, the battle is between the ego or the physical and the spiritual. That you got to come and to bring into balance, because if the spirit you, if the higher you was in control, it ain't going to be no such thing as you thinking about death. Even though that death is good. Even though death is good. Okay?
Okay. Now, I also wanted to ask you about my dreams, because I don't often have very vivid dreams, but when I do, it's like weird.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one I remember, hold on, let me look at my notes now. I want to make sure I get the details right.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
So the first one was like, okay, like my neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
I was remembering, or I was seeing like my old neighborhood. We lived in a row of townhouses,
Mm-hmm.
right? And in the dream, it looked like the same street, but it was just a little bit brighter.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking, like, no, my street never used to look this bright.
Mm-hmm.
Like the sun was kind of weird or something. And I remember coming out of the house
Mm-hmm.
and turning around and seeing everything was on fire. And it was like three men in fire suits, and they were spraying the blue torches, I don't know what they call them.
Mm-hmm.
The leaves.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is done with.
Mm-hmm.
And I turned around and seen my mother in the window of the house upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started to panic, I got to get my mother, all of a sudden, the street next to me. And she took hers, and she was like, when you're over, it's going to be good. About you now. And then I, to leave with a friend of mine from work, and he had a little red Honda. That's not the car he really drove, but in the dream, he had a little red Honda, and when I opened the door, water was rushing out. Like he had a little mini flood in there, and it was like water just pouring out from the bottom.
That's a good dream.
So I'm like, what in the world?
That's a good dream. First of all, you're going back into the past. I mean, back into the past, right? Whenever you go back into the past, you go into a state of innocence, because that's in your younger days, right? So you're going back into the state of innocence, and when you're going back into your state of innocence, your mother was in the window, right?
Yeah.
And so she had to be in the front of the window, correct?
Yeah, the front of the house on the right side, the right window.
Right. And so her being in the front of that window, on the right side, in the front of that window, symbolizes the cleansing, or symbolizes the future for you. Meaning, when you was innocent, when you was young, you must have been going through a lot of chaotic times within yourself. Why? Because you have the fire element that burned all of that thing down, the Kundalini energy, okay? And then when you opened up, your friend's car, what came out? Water, purity, blessing, cleansing. For now, for the now. You see what I'm saying? For the now.
Okay.
What represented the future was your mother sitting in that window. That's what that was. But at that time, you went back into the past, because perhaps wherever you was living at, that house, that home, or whatever, was where the damage was done to you, or probably started. You see, and so what happens is your spirit is telling you, listen, all of these feelings and all of this stuff, you get it out. You got to cleanse. You got to raise your Kundalini vibration up. You got to burn them. You got to release them. Okay? In order for you currently, in the future, for you to be healed. With the water. It's like the holy water. You get what I'm saying? It's like a cleansing bath. So you got different elements here, and then you said you seen 3 men. There you go. That number 3, 3 men.
That number 3 again.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Mind, body, and soul. That's everything means something. Everything means something. You see, Firemen.
Okay, let me go to the next one.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
So the next one that I can remember vividly is, it was like I was going on a tour of a house. But the house was full of rushing water. Like somewhere it must have been like a river running through it or a pipe at first. But as I was going through the house, me and the real estate agent or whoever was guiding me, because I don't remember what she looked like. But I was swimming through it like it was normal. Like, like this is the regular way of things.
Healing.
But my head never went under the water. I was always above. But the water was just rushing. And I remember the basement was separated into three
again.
Like rooms or separate areas. And then upstairs there was a nursery, but I wasn't pregnant. So I'm like, well, what was that about?
Rebirth. That's rebirth. Water is what happens when a child comes into this world. The water breaks. Water. And so it to be reborn again. You're born again. Reincarnation. You're cleansing, but you was drowning in your feelings. However, in order for you to be reborn again, that's just like the same dream. In order for you to be reborn again, guess what? You got to cleanse. That's the water. Your head is above the water. You see what I'm saying? The nursery is baby, new beginnings. But you were drowning in your feelings. Water always talks about emotions. You know what I'm saying? When you overly stressed, sometimes you dream about a lot of water, or it also represents cleansing. You got to cleanse, and that's why I throughout this session I'm telling you, pay attention to what, or be mindful of what you choose to entertain.
Yeah, you're right, because I watch a lot of Netflix and stuff and shows that it interests me on a physical level, but I know it's not nothing feeding me on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the next one, because I know time is running out.
Go ahead.
I was in this dream, it really was kind of flashes of different things. Like I was moving around, walking around with my friends, like either through the neighborhood or whatever.
Was you barefoot?
And every time that I was,
was you barefooted?
I don't know. I don't remember that part, but I just remember every time the sunlight touched me, it would be like I was being supercharged up, and I would hear like this little hum, like you know how something might be heating up, and then like as the heat would get to the rising point, I would get scared and jump out of the light, or go in the shadows or something. But every time I was somewhere where the sunlight would touch me, it would be like I would be glowing, pulsating light, heat, you know, like heating up, warming up. And I'm like, well, what was that about?
So I'm going to tell you what that was about, but what do your spirit tells you about that dream? What, like, if you was to ask your spirit, well, what does this mean? What do you have any answer to that, or?
Well, I kind of got the feeling that I'm afraid of some kind of power, because every time it was coming to that point of like where I felt like it was the ultimate, like something's about to happen, I don't know what's going on, and if the hum would get louder and louder, then I get scared at the last minute and jump out.
That okay?
So, like,
that's what I'm saying. That's the fear, scared of your own powers. You get what I'm saying? That what I keep telling you is if you are fearful of anything, then you won't be able to move forward. And so when you're talking about the zzz, the zzz, any type of vibration sounds like that, that means Kundalini rising. You said the sun. The sun represents the fire, the spark inside of you. Just goes back to ascension, 1111. You see, higher dimensions. But the energy. That energy has to come from the root chakra and go all the way up the spine into the crown chakra. That's how you become illuminated. That's when the Christ, you know, that's when they say you have been resonated in the Christ energy. You see. And so that sun, that just means raise your vibration. And then too, when I asked you if you were barefooted, your spirit guide said, no, that dream just meant for her to be grounded, a little bit more grounded. You need to be more grounded. Can't be all over the place. Can't be scattered. Oh, this place, that place, this place, that. No.
Oh, yeah.
Grounded. You understand? You gotta
fight the scatterbrain. Yeah, you're right.
Grounded.
Okay. And then the last one, this one was really weird. I was living in a house where it was like this big tree. I've seen this tree before. I just don't remember what kind of tree it is. But you know the big one with the big trunk, and then the leaves kind of spread over it like an umbrella. Well, my house was built, and it was like a wall or something was missing. And the staircase wrapped around this tree. And I went to the bottom of the tree, and it kind of opened up into this like little valley or something.
Different dimensions.
There was a parade coming through, right? It was like all the people that lived around me was gathered. I don't know if it was like maybe we was living in like a wilderness or something, but it wasn't like a regular neighborhood. And when the parade started, well, first of all, it was like crocodiles on motorcycles, and then it was elephants. No, the elephants was on motorcycles. And then all of a sudden, as we celebrating while the elephants coming through, then the crocodiles came through and started like chasing people and, you know, doing all of this crazy stuff. And then people was running, and I had to make sure that, I don't know, I had this fear that, oh, I gotta make sure that everybody is safe. Somebody might be in my house. Somebody might be in my house. And so I was like, what in the world is this?
Let me look into my book for that one. Let me look into my book. But elephants is always a good sign. You get what I'm saying? Elephants always mean fortune, good fortune, protection, wisdom, and things of that nature. Crocodiles, in a sense, could be depending on your tradition, some crocodiles are sacred because you have the crocodile goddess Sebek. And then, you know what I'm saying, dealing with fertility, dealing with being overprotective. And then also the crocodile can mean danger. So give me 1 second. 1 second.
Okay.
Let me look into my book. So that kind of is like a yin yang dream. Do you teach?
No.
Oh, you are a teacher?
I do have that mindset of wanting to teach people. Like even when I was in Christianity real heavy, when I would come across certain people and they was going through something, I would teach them like, okay, well, no, you're really valuable, you're really important, you know, you matter. Or I would be teaching them something from the Bible, and then everything that I take notes on it in such a way where I can pass it on to somebody else and they'll be able to read and understand it.
Right. So you do teach. Yeah, you do teach. Yeah. You teach.
Yeah.
You teach. Yeah. Some people are like, well, you know, I do a little something. Listen, claim it. You teach. Okay, so elephant, right? Elephant is in the book, in this book, Dreams and What They Mean to You by Magine Gonzalez Whippler. I got this book recommendation. I got this book from Bobby Hemmett. Okay, and so
I knew you was going to say that.
Yeah, Bobby Hemmett. And so in this book, if you dream about elephants, it is solid wealth will be yours, as well as high honors. You will have complete control of your business affairs and of your family life. Okay, that's why I do. That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's what I'm saying. I feel like you're gonna be you have already been reborn again. You get what I'm saying? Like for real. When you talk about when you say, oh well, I spent 30 years in the church, so you're now being reborn again. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you keep seeing this number 11, which I picked up with you. That's a sign of transitioning into another dimension, and other, ways of thinking. Let me see. Does it have crocodile?
That's absolutely real. That's absolutely. And when I started seeing them repeat numbers is when I was starting to make the transition.
Yeah.
So it would be like I see 111, 333, 666, 888, and I'm like, what is up with these multi-numbers? And it was too often for it to be a coincidence. I mean, I would be behind somebody in traffic, and their license plate add up to number 11, or behind a school bus, and their license plate might be 11, and then the number on the bus might be 66. Stuff like that. And I'm like, hold up. Something is trying to get my attention.
That's right. That's exactly what it is. And that's why I was just about to say, do not take it for granted, because it's just signs. See, the spirit realm communicates in signs and symbols. And so that's why when you go to the tombs of anywhere, you see symbols, you see signs. You don't see no writing. There's no such thing as no writing. The hieroglyphics, what is that? Those are symbols. Ain't no words or no such thing. How do you spell crocodile?
C-R-O-C.
Yes, probably the page is missing.
O-C. Hold up.
Yeah. The page must be missing.
C-R-O-C-O-D-I-L-E.
Yeah, the crocodile is not in here. Probably alligators in here, but crocodiles is not in here. In this book here. But like I mentioned to you before, crocodiles for me, what I'm picking up or what I'm feeling, crocodiles for me is just being overprotective, or just like chasing away the bad spirits. And then too, the main fact that you said that you be having these dreams about murders and stuff like that, that might well be spirits dwelling in your home that is leeching off of you, that are trying. And that's why when you said, well, I gotta protect the home, you just going back to those unwanted spirits that was there. How long you've lived in that house? And you live in Detroit, so that's hella crime. Baltimore. That's hella crime over there. It's just the energy there. It's just the energy there. You see.
Yeah.
It's just the energy.
Okay, what else do I want to ask you? I always feel like, well, I know where it came from, because my mother, over the years, she kind of always made me feel like I haven't arrived, I haven't, really done something with my life. So that's where the pressure started building at for me to, when am I going to get to my success, and always stressing and worrying that I'm not, doing enough, that I'm 30 years old and I'm still, living paycheck to paycheck. So when am I finally going to get, my stuff together? And I know in the spirit realm, there's no such thing as time, and we all come into things at different times. But how do I stop that ticking clock in my head? Like, that, you're supposed to be
the monkey
at
mind.
a certain age, and
the monkey mind.
It's
monkey mind. It's the monkey mind. That's what that is. The motherfucker that keeps talking so goddamn much. That's what it is. That's the person that keeps telling you that's the ego. How do you stop the ego? Just by not paying attention to it. How do you stop the ego? Start to silence your mind. How do you stop the ego? By entertaining positive thoughts. I'm supposed to be doing this, I'm supposed to be doing that. Okay, well, there's no such thing as timing anyway, so I guess everything is in divine order. That's how you combat that. You get what I'm saying? People be having children at 45 years old. Oh, I'm late in having children. No, this is your time to have children. This is when the Creator blessed you. This is when you manifested you having children. And so when you want to stop that monkey mind, it's either one, you sit in silence, or either two, you stop entertaining certain things. You get what I'm saying? That's going to feed that monkey mind. Number three, because when I mean by entertaining other things, because in terms of, okay, if you see somebody else that is around your same age or whatnot, around your same age, but seems as if they're doing a little better. And so when you start to entertain that this person seems as if they're doing a little better versus